Live. This live is welcome to all who want to attend. It's first, regardless of your sexual orientation, your political affiliation, the color of your skin, or your religion. Nor will I take any harassment if anybody bullying anybody in this live. Facts are welcome. Matter of fact, that's what this is about facts. Um, Start of a new day, y'all. And the rain falls on the wicked and the just alike. And got a little bit where I'm at. For those that care to know. Uh, I appreciate you if you're watching this now at a later date. Because today's a special day. It's a special day for two reasons. There were people that were breathing yesterday. But they ain't breathing today. And throughout the annals of history, time, space, and the cosmos, there has never, and I do mean never, there's never, ever been a day like today. And I don't tell grown people what to do. Because ain't nobody grown or ain't no little child gonna tell me what to do. That's justice. I just share what works for me. So if you'd like to participate in the live, the only requirement is that you first go to my channel and read my channel description. If it's something that you're still interested in and you'd like to participate in the comment section, because listening is always free, simply greet everybody in the room, regardless if I'm here by myself or if there's a million people watching, with a peaceful greeting, according to your culture, your custom, your ways. Okay. And then after you do that in the comment section, and the canned little says hi does not count. You have to type it yourself. If it's something that you're interested in, then greet everybody with a peaceful greeting. Okay? And after you do that, if you'd like to participate, you can ask me a question. This live is for the purpose of conversations. Conversations and the definition thereof shall not deviate for the purposes of any of the lives that I do. And that definition is as follows. Conversations are truthful and honest questions and answers using logic to come up with solutions to problems. Because I've discovered in my experience on this planet that arguments and debates leave problems in their wake. Usually, those problems that leave in their wake are worse than the problems that they were arguing or debating about trying to solve, but they don't solve problems. The only thing that can solve a problem is a conversation. And that's what this live is for. I'm not paid by TikTok. I'm not paid by YouTube. I'm not paid by any social media platform. I do social media for the channel description. For how long? I don't know. Because I know there's a higher standard that says that, yeah, folks really don't like that too much. Especially the Zionists that are running the social media now. Well, soon to be running TikTok too, by the way. Because that's nothing new. I don't see why people are all up in arms about TikTok for in the first place. TikTok might be a god, but it's not my God. I serve the Most High. I don't serve any other gods. And I don't care what people think about me. I really don't. I just care that people come out of these well-dressed lies that they keep holding up for. Now that that's out of the way, today's topic is a hot topic, because it's always a hot topic that people of all skin tones like to gaslight around. And that topic is this. Get in my truck. Topic is this. Can black people be racist? That's the topic for this day. I'm gonna start the day with that topic. That's the topic. Can black people be racist? And I'm pretty sure somebody's gonna come and troll, and if somebody doesn't come and troll, nobody's gonna come in at all. And that doesn't bother me because I do social media. I do social media. I do this because, I can't do a lot with my time due to my position. And I spend the majority of my time meditating on a higher standard that people claim to follow, but they don't. And that higher standard is do unto others as you have them do unto you, for this is the law and the prophets. It's something that I've held on to for a mighty long time. And in these last days, because that's what they are, these are the last days. And don't call me a kook job, because one day to our Father is 1,000 years, and 1,000 years to us is one day to our Father in heaven. If you believe that. And I'm not pushing that, because like I said, I'm not telling folks what to do. I'm just sharing what works for me. And what works for me is what was there from creation, that nobody wants to tap into without inserting their ego to change it, to glorify themselves. I ain't about that. I really genuinely want to help people in a spiritual aspect so we can all come together like butt cheeks. But it's only going to be a remnant of people that actually want to do that. Which is why people don't watch my lives. For religious reasons. They can't have conversations about certain topics. Or for political reasons. They can't address certain topics truthfully. See, like I said, the definition is not going to deviate. Truthful and honest questions and answers using logic to come up with solutions to problems. So that's the question. Can black people be racist? Now, I'm going to give you a truthful, honest answer, but I'm going to wait for some people to come into the room, and I'm going to bide my time. I got some welding to do later on, and I got to go board up some more stuff that some racist dairy demons damaged, because I live in Mississippi, and they say my skin is a sin. Nubit. And Nubit is my co-host. Isn't that right, Nubit? There's Nubit. Anubis. All right, sit down. Let's see who comes in. Shalom, Mr. Brown. Today's topic is, can black people be racist? Can black people be racist? And because Mr. Brown has greeted everybody in the room, he is more than welcome to make a statement, ask a question. Well, I disagree. I disagree, Mr. Brown, because that's not logical. If you know what the system of race is, who invented it and why. Black people sure can be racist, but see, everybody argue about that. And that's why I'm taking that hot topic today. Black people can be racist. The system of race places white people at the top and black people at the bottom. Any black person that has power can be racist, but there is a condition to who they can be racist to. Did I lose you, Mr. Brown? Yeah, they can be racist. Racist, because see, the thing is, in order to be racist, everybody say black people can't be racist because we don't have power, right? Right? Black people can be racist to other non-white people. Yeah, they can be racist to non-white people. Matter of fact, every race can be racist, because the word racist, when you break down the etymology of the word, I-S-T, ism. Let's talk about racism, because in order to be a racist, you have to practice racism. Yeah, that's not what anybody's talking about, because nobody wants to have truthful conversations. Yeah, Kanye West is racist. Yeah, slavery was a choice. Yeah, it's a choice. Freedom or death. See, the thing is, everybody run with half-truths. A half a truth is a whole lie. And I'm not trying to argue. I'm not trying to debate nobody about nothing, because that's not what I do my lives for. What I'm saying is valid, is true, based upon the preponderance of the evidence. Oprah's racist. You get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car. But what has she done to stop racism? Because the one thing that only one race can stop. The system of race can only be stopped by one race, and that's whites. White people are the only ones that are able to stop racism. However, a racist is a participant in the system of race. And a racist has power to be so. Everybody is prejudiced. I like Pepsi. I don't like Coke. That means I'm prejudiced towards Coca-Cola. But that doesn't make me a bad person. But if I had power, if I own the factory, you see, the perception and perspective changes. And it's all about perception and perspective. And I don't know. If I'm wrong, that's why I'm glad you came, Mr. Brown, because if you can prove me wrong, I mean, I'm all ears. But I'm just speaking from my experience. On this over half of a century I've been on this planet, dealing with people, caping for a system that only benefits one demographic. And they've caped for it so long and gaslit it so long that we're in the end stages of it. Especially here in Mississippi. Because in the SIP where I am, man, look here. They brutalize white folk just like they do black folk. They do. They do. And, you know, at the end of the day, it's a personal choice whether they want to subscribe to that system of race or not. Who told you you have to claim a race? I mean, who told anybody they have to claim a race? And then being proud of a race is idiotic in itself because nobody picks what skin tone they want to be before they pop out their mama. Nobody. Not me, not you, Mr. Brown, not the white folk watching or not watching, not anybody. Didn't nobody jump up in your mama when she was pregnant with you with a little clipboard and a pencil and say, okay, what color do you want to be? Okay, what color eyes do you want? Do you want a penis or a vagina? Okay, I'm going to send this up to the big man. See you in 9 months. I don't think anybody, that's not insane would disagree with that. And then think about the black community. Black and proud. Black and proud. The 60s about black and proud. Where did that get us? Where did it get us? James Brown had power, but because the system of race limited him. He had radio stations. James Brown had restaurants, chain restaurants. He was helping the black community, wasn't he? Wasn't he? And they took all of it. Because if you're black, you can only be racist to other black people. Black people can be racist based upon the evidence, the preponderance of that evidence. Because in the 90s, I'm living in America, baby. Yeah, now he back on top. Everybody love James Brown. Red, white, and blue. And here's a news flash. Whether you fly an American flag or them stars and bars, it all represents mistreatment of copper-colored peoples. Copper-colored peoples. That's why I say that. I don't claim that. I'm not the same color as my shirt. Fact of business, if you go into a court of law and say that you black, you've automatically lost your case because you told everybody in there you're a thing. You're not even a person. And please don't tell them you're a human being. That's even worse because you're letting them know that you're a monster. Them two dictionaries that rule, this country. You got Webster's and you got Black's Law Dictionary. Yeah, they don't use Webster's in the court of law. Yeah. At the end of the day, your race is a pseudoscience. The poop sandwich that everybody's handed when they come out their mouth. And racism screws everybody. Notice I said everybody and not all races. Because truth be told, whoever's watching this now, later date, Mr. Brown, you, me, we are unique and wonderfully made. Bruh, there's only one you. And can't nobody else be you but you. You can have identical twins. They're gonna have differences, even though they look the same. Each one is unique and wonderfully made. A spirit in flesh, just like my channel description says. And it tells you that's what I am. Yeah, it's a shame that a lot of people don't realize that. They think I want to push religion because I don't argue semantics. I clarify my semantics for the purpose of conversation. That's why I'm clarifying it. You know, if I say black people can be racist, oh man, they boot me out. You ain't want to hear what I got to say? Let me articulate myself in an intellectual fashion, let you see that there's evidence that yes, black people have been racist for a very long time. We've all been indoctrinated. We've all been conditioned. We all have been trained to look down on black people. And being that all black people go through that indoctrinational system, they call it educational system, black people, we are the only race of people on the planet in this country trained and conditioned to mentally hate ourselves. To hate ourselves. This ain't my first go around with this hair, you know. You know, when I was locking my hair, it was before Lil Wayne and them were doing it. And everybody talk bad about it. Oh, you think you Bob Marley. Is that a bad thing? Bob Marley took a speech that Haile Selassie wrote and turned it into a song. It's basically a universal truth. That can't nobody find cap in to this day. That's why they still sing it. And I'm pretty sure Mr. Brown knows it. Until the philosophy that whole one race superior and another inferior is finally and permanently discredited and abandoned, right? Until the color of a man's skin is of no more significant than the color of his eye. It is a war. Yeah, but they say it like an insult. But then Lil Wayne, he started like his hair, now it's cool. Now people started to, you know, these superstars that really plants to get us to define ourselves. You know, when they started to accept it, now Bob, you know what I'm saying? Isn't calling somebody Bob Marley. It's not an insult unless you white and retarded. And I do mean retarded. And if you offended at that word, then that's on you, because I'm old school. And that is a mental condition. Retardation is a mental condition. They call it something different now, but that's what it is. Okay? And I got a higher standard that says there's nothing new under the sun. Right? I'm not trying to sell nobody nothing. I ain't trying to convince nobody of nothing. I don't tell grown folk what to do. But I got a brain. And my brain tells me, nah, that don't make no sense. Folks run around here talking about black people can't be racist. Yes, the hell they can. That's how racism has been able to screw the black community as long as it has. Because black people have been racist against themselves. And the system is set up to whereas black people they cannot use their resources to benefit black people in that system of race. So if you are a racist, that means you subscribe to the system of race. And to think that nobody in copper-colored skin subscribes to that system, man, you caping for it. Logically speaking, that means you caping for a system that you know is unjust. That ain't gonna give you no fair shake, regardless of how much booty you kiss, no matter how long you stay on your knees, stroke the shaft, paint the trees, swallow the gravy. You cannot take those resources that you get from conforming to this white supremacist system and help copper-colored people, the people they call black people in this nation, in a positive and constructive manner. Yeah, you can bring dope to the hood if you're rich. You can sponsor that. Cocaine and marijuana and all that. Yeah, you can bring it to the hood. But you try to bring schools to the hood. Oh, that's a no-go. You try to bring hospitals to the hood. To copper-colored people. Put it to you like that. Because white folks live in the hood too. A neighborhood. You know. And it doesn't make sense. It's illogical. And if you're watching this now at a later date and you got something to say about it, you can put it in the comment section. What's the thing we can do with they? Well, I missed that one. Let's say we can be. Okay, let's say we can be. What's the thing we can do with they like those in power? We can't do what the ones in power can do. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. In the system of race, anybody that has power, they have to use that power to benefit white people. And if you really magnify on what I'm saying, if I didn't lose you, yeah, all of them bow down to that country they call Israel, don't they? Don't they? Those people that say they are something that they're not, according to that Torah and the little square thing, the scriptures that they tie in a box, tie around their head, be at the wall doing this with them little funny little curls down their head. Yeah. They were grafted in, then they, wiped out all the real ones. And that World War II wasn't about what people think it was about either. Truthfully speaking. Yeah, we have power, we can't use it. Because every time we use it, yeah, the government comes in and they bulldoze it, or flood it, or drop bombs on it. And then fear. That problem, reaction, solution. That wax is nasty stuff, man. And it's not skin tone, religion specific. It ain't even location specific. Read up who Leopold was and what he did in Africa to those copper-colored people if they didn't bring enough cocoa in at the end of the day. What did he do to their hands? And don't they still sell those hands in Belgium today? That fine Belgian chocolate. Now, do you think it really matters if a white person or a black person runs that chocolate factory, knowing the history of where those chocolate hands come from? But it's all about the bag though, right? That's what selling your soul is. You do anything for the bag. Not me. And I've had plenty of opportunities to, and I turned them down. And was mocked by my own family for turning them down in some instances. Yeah. My pops is the whitest black man you'll ever meet. He is. Yeah. You ever come back stateside, he know I know. He knows that I know. He's the whitest black man I've ever met. That's the person that, that his seed is what's speaking right now. So yeah, you can blame Cracker for all of this. He know who I'm talking to. I ain't gonna say his government name because I ain't gonna say my government name on here. But that's his nickname. That's what his siblings called him. He was my grandfather's favorite. And my grandfather was mixed. And his wife, she was darker than deep earth. Straight from what they call the motherland. So yeah, black people can be racist. Because in order for racism, the system, to work, everybody gotta play. Everybody gotta play for the system to work. And everybody, all skin tones, are talking about ending racism. Some say it don't exist. Okay, well, look, if you say it doesn't exist, then everybody stop claiming a race. And it would end. And then people will really be judged on their character and not the color of their skin. That's logic. That's logic. It is. It's logical. It's not logical to say that black people can't be racist. Because if you're claiming a race, you're playing the game. I turned my cards in a long time ago. Ain't nobody got to revoke my black card. I turned it in. I'm not the same color as my shirt. And it ain't did nothing for me anyway. What is it? What has your black card done for you? Hey, we can invite so many people to the cookout. We can say who in and who's out. What's the qualifications for being black? I'm a 70s baby. I remember the insults we used to scream to each other in our black community when it was a black community. You remember when we had the candy lady, when we could shut off the block, throw block parties. We didn't have to worry about crack because it wasn't around yet. Oh, look at he's ugly and black. Oh, you African booty scratcher. Man, look at your big ass nose. That's not black people being racist to other black people, bro. Well, if that's not being racist, tell me what it is. Respectfully speaking. We were conditioned, trained, and educated to hate anything that's black. To dehumanize black people in this country, including ourselves. Like Malcolm said, who told you that your hair was ugly? Who told you that your lips were ugly? Who told you that your skin was ugly? Who? There's no other race on the planet that was done like that except for black people. And to this day, you got a lot of people still gaslighting for it. And it's sad because, you know, a lot of people in my skin tone in Mississippi, they gaslight harder for that damn pseudoscience than the palm colored ones, than the white ones. But they're the only ones that racism benefits. If that's not true, why did it take hundreds of years before we had our first black president who went to Africa and destroyed Libya by assassinating Muammar Gaddafi? What business do Americans have in another country that's posing no threat, no physical threat? It was an economic threat. Because Gaddafi was going to use the gold standard and back his currency behind it. And America couldn't have that. It had nothing to do with freedom. Didn't have nothing to do with that man being a dictator or a tyrant. Yeah. You notice, people in this country don't have that same energy about the tyrant and the dictator that's running it right now. Where's all that energy y'all have for Gaddafi? Where that? Where that dude? Where that dude? I don't see nobody, you know what I'm saying, pressing the Joint Chiefs of Staff to, you know what I'm saying, arrest him for treason, because that's what he is. He's a treasonous traitor. And a sociopathic, narcissistic, sexually deviant maniac who poops his pants in France. True story. You don't hear them. They quiet as church mouses, right? Look at what they're doing with Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk wasn't even college educated. All he did was overtalk people with white supremacist talking points. And they're honoring this dude like he's a saint in mass. They are buffing in mass with the wax. And this live is just a PSA. I'm almost at the 30 minutes. Ain't nobody else here. And that's fine. I'm here. And I'm going to be here tomorrow. 1,800 hours. Start of the day. Talk about these topics that affect all of us. And yeah, that's a well-dressed lie if I ever heard one. Black people can't be racist. That ain't what I've experienced and seen in my life. Matter of fact, you know, they was racist towards me too. I wasn't black enough. Wasn't black enough. Because ain't nobody gonna tell you, you know, what are the qualifications? What does it take to qualify to be black? If you know that all humanity, humans, started with the original black man and woman. And from them, all shades of skin came. Make it make sense. I'm telling you, make it make sense. Make it make sense. How is it that black people cannot be racist, but white people came from black people, the same white people that invented the concept and definition of race, came from black people, because white people come from black people, commonly speaking, right? It don't make sense. See, all this time in Mississippi, where they talk about, oh, it's heritage and not hate, and we don't like black people around here, and yeah, black people are monkeys and all that stuff. Yeah, they've been hating themselves. They've been hating themselves because they come from us. And I'm saying us loosely, because they don't come from me. They don't come from you. The people they came from, they've been dead and gone, long time ago. They came from them. And I wish people would correct their syntax when they say that. They come from us. No, they don't come from us. They came from our ancestors. Our ancestors. Yeah, some of them went up in the mountains and stuff. But see, the thing is, yeah, didn't they, that missing link, y'all know that missing link? Some of it was voluntary. Some of it was involuntary. Everybody's mixed. In order to be a pure blood, whatever you want to call yourself, that means you're admitting that your ancestors was real nasty. Son impregnated mama. Daddy impregnated sister. Sister got knocked up by brother. Brother knocked up first cousin. That's how you have a pure race. And that's what those white people did. They polluted humanity with their mentality and they gene pool by practicing that. But the thing is, you know, okay, this is what, okay, listen. If you are listening, because I know ain't nobody in this room. Look up Mr. Blackburn. He's a guy in the early 1900s. Took his 7 daughters into the mountains and started to impregnate them. Beat his wife, tied her in the attic, fed her just enough food to survive. Impregnated his daughters. And wrote a manifesto, a religion on what he was doing. Had a cemetery behind his property where he buried the rejects, you know, the ones whose eyeballs came out, touched so much that it, you know, went back and went through their skulls and they couldn't make it. Yeah, had a cemetery, right? Yeah, this Mr. Blackwood, he went all over America preaching that doctrine to his offspring, of which a lot of them still walking around today. And here's the kicker about Mr. Blackwood. All this information, they kept hush-hush until the late 90s, early 2000s. Try to find his descendants. Yeah, in his manifesto, he taught his people how to change their names and all that other stuff. But told them they must keep their race pure. And that's what they've been doing, these white folks. Ask me how I know. That's what they've been doing. And then Thomas Jefferson and what he said, their blood shall mingle with our blood and we all shall become Americans. And you think your skin entitle you to something like you better than everybody else. Everybody's mixed. Everybody, me included. And anybody that preaches the doctrine of a pure race, they're a Zionist. And newsflash, yeah, y'all, everybody gonna get a taste of that in a minute. That Zionism that they've been secretly rooting for. And they've been getting it. They've been getting it. In a minute, everybody gonna be screaming, oh God, bless America, pass ammunition, because they're on a mission to kill any and everybody for the money, more money, more money, more. That's what their objective is. They never cared about your skin. All they cared about was control. And while everybody was diverted, talking about crayons they couldn't control, they walk away with the bag. Resources, gold, diamonds, and souls. Souls. Like them soul pirates, they're preaching that, you know, crack on that cross. That Mormon Jesus juice. And that unholy toast. They want to shove down everybody's throats. Read up on Manifest Destiny. If you think the mad trucker's capping. Sketch that out. Yeah, they thought that this God that they serve gave them the right to exterminate the copper-colored tribes here in this continent. And they think that we have the same mentality. It's never been that. It's never been that. And regardless of what kind of stick you got in your house, regardless of your stick, there's nothing you can buy that's more effective and more lethal than what the United States military has, which goes back to that Joint Chiefs of Staff thing. You know what they're doing in Gaza? There's a lot of people that's indifferent about it. But yeah, I've come to the conclusion that yes, black people can be racist. Matter of fact, it's pretty much mandatory that a black person that has access to resources has to be racist, or the system's gonna eat them whole. Speaking of systems, that's our script for today. It's gonna be the script every day, because I meditate on his laws and statutes daily. In the script it says, that which is born of flesh is flesh, that which is born of spirit is spirit. And that's why I brought up Mr. Blackburn, because it's not them babies' fault. They got daddy uncles, mama cousins and whatnot. It's not their fault. You have to discern their spirit. See if they rolling with that Esau, or if they won't roll with Jacob. And really, to be honest with you, the best thing to do is, if you ain't gonna help them in a positive, productive fashion, leave them alone, because they're gonna be coming to take what you got in a minute, and you might have to get surgical on them. That's what we are in America today. You know, Donnie T, I'm pretty sure, yeah, he has pure blood. I'm pretty sure he has pure blood. Yeah, he got an uncle, cousin around in there somewhere, a mama, auntie, or something. That's the only thing that would explain his narcissism, sexual deviancy, and sociopathic rage. But you know, a lot of Mr. Blackburn's children got away. And that's how they found his manifesto. His youngest daughter got away in 1920 something. But it wasn't until 2015, 16, around there, the teens, 2000 teens something, that they released that information. And they still really haven't released it, because the government wants to keep it hush hush. Because when Mr. Blackwood started doing what he did, okay, when he first started doing what he did, yeah, the local law authorities, yeah, they helped him. They kept it hush hush. So how can you get justice in an unjust system? I'll tell you how. Be in the world and not of it. Because if there wasn't some righteousness in his youngest daughter, I wouldn't be talking about it right now. And I'm not making fun of him. When I go live, I make observational statements. It is an observational statement. That's what's called evidence. And people don't want to step out of their egos or their emotions to look at it, because it calls something out in them that they don't necessarily approve. And I'm at the 30-minute mark, and there's nobody live, and that's fine. I like to say thank you, Mr. Brown, for attending this day, start of this day. And anybody else who's watching this now or at a later date. And praise the Most High Yah. Praise the Most High Elohim of Abraham. Who through the line of David sent his son, Yeshua, to give us the truth that all these dairy demons run from. But they can't hide from him, especially in 2025. With that being said, may the Most High bless and keep you. May his countenance be gracious unto you. May the Most High smile upon you and give you shalom. I'm the Mad Trucker. Thanks for watching. Come on, Nubis.